down on Burgundy and Basin Street. The whole town danced in the summer heat. A clarinet cried like a mockingbird, then your soft laughter became the loudest word. The lantern swung from balcony chains. The sky smelled sweet like southern rain, and every horn in that midnight band played like heaven had touched the land. You wore a red dress stitched with gold, moved like stories never told. You spun around when the trombone sighed, and every lonely man stepped aside. The drummer tapped like a racing train. My poor old heart couldn't stay contained. You smiled once through the cigarette smoke, and every broken dream awoke. Now the piano rolled like river waves. Home and danced like boys again, and I forgot every hurt I knew the second that I looked at you. Oh, when the trumpets called your name, my whole wide world burst into flame. The saints above began to sing, and Bourbon Street turned into spring. Oh, darling, spin me one more time. Turn these tears into ragtime. If love's a gamble, let me lose, long as I wake beside your shoes. Hey, hey! Let the whole town sway. Hey, hey! Let the whole town sway. We drank cheap wine from paper cups, watched the river boats slide up. You told me stories of Tennessee and all the places you'd rather be. I told you I was scared of time, of losing songs before they rhyme. You kissed my cheek beneath neon blue and said time ain't chasing you. Then all the dancers filled the square, sweating jasmine in the air. A preacher shouted from the side, but even heaven joined the Now every city has its ghost, and every lonely man a toast. But that night felt untouched by pain, like no storm cloud could bring rain. The moon hung low above the street. The bass drum marched beneath our feet, and every trumpet note declared a love too reckless to be spared. You held my hand beside the rail as riverboats drag silver trails, and somewhere through that saxophone cry, I swear the stars lean from the sky. Oh, when the trumpets called your name, nothing after stayed the same. The world spun loud and bright and fast, like joy was built to always last. Dance with me till daylight breaks, till the city bends and shakes. If tomorrow steals this tune away, tonight belongs to us anyway. The street lights dimmed one by one. Still we danced till morning come, and every horn kept blowing free, like love itself found harmony. Now every time that band begins, I hear your laugh above the din, still chasing echoes through the flame of when the trumpets called your name. The rain came down on Royal Street, cold on the cobblestone beneath our feet. You lit a cigarette with trembling hands, while a trumpet cried from a distant band. The bars stayed open after 2, like broken hearts are born to do. And every glass reflected fear, hidden underneath our cheers. You said love scares you half to death, like drowning slow with every breath. I laughed it off, but deep inside I feared the day you'd say goodbye. We danced beneath electric signs, drank too fast on borrowed time. The piano rolled in minor blues, like it already knew we'd lose. Old couples swayed without a word, while lonely sailors slurred and slurred. And somewhere near the backroom light, you cried for reasons held too tight. Champagne tears in the quarter tonight, gold-hearted lovers losing the fight, laughing loud while breaking apart. Jazz band drowning the cracks in our hearts. Oh, darling, hold me while you can, before love slips right through our hands, before the brass turns cold and blue, and Bourbon Street forgets us too. You told me stories from your past, about the loves that never last, about your father leaving town and teaching you to keep love down. I wanted badly to repair every wound still living there, but some ghost stands too deep inside to disappear, however hard you try. Outside, the rain became a flood, mixing whiskey, smoke and mud, and every horn began to moan, like sorrow found its rightful home. And for one trembling moment there, the whole damned world felt almost fair. The drummer brushed a fading swing, while broken lovers tried to sing, and every lonely soul inside pretended they were satisfied. Champagne tears in the quarter tonight, trumpets fading into the night. We kissed slow beneath neon rain, trying hard to outrun pain. Oh darling, don't let go just yet. Some dreams ain't finished dying yet. But even then I somehow knew the storm was already coming through. The bartender stacked empty glasses while midnight drifted slowly past us. And somewhere in that smoky room, love quietly began to lose. The last horn cried at closing time, a funeral wrapped in ragtime, and your reflection disappeared inside champagne and hidden tears. The saints don't march for lovers, baby, not for fools who lose their way. They save their songs for soldiers, maybe, not hearts that slowly decay. The tuba groaned like thunderclouds, the snare drum dragged the dead through town, and somewhere past the morning horns, our love finally drowned. You packed your coat before sunrise, couldn't even meet my eyes. The coffee burned untouched and black, like every promise we took back. Outside the city carried on, streetcars rattled toward the dawn. But inside that apartment room, everything smelled just like doom. I heard the neighbor's radio playing old Louis soft and low, and somehow every trumpet cry sounded like a last goodbye. That count the cost, not for dreams that burn too fast, trying desperately to last. Oh darling, hear that trombone moan, that lonely sound of being alone. Even heaven closed its doors when you walked across that floor. Your perfume lingered in the hall, like ghosts refusing not to call. I smashed a bottle against the sink just to stop myself from thinking. The mirror showed a tired man, too broken now to understand how two people once so alive could barely even survive. Meanwhile, down on Basin Street, drunk strangers still danced in the heat, and the world kept swinging wild and free, without the slightest care for me. Funny how a city sings while your whole soul caves within. Funny how the band plays loud while heartbreak buries you underground. The preacher outside Jackson Square said pain's a burden all must bear, but no sermon could explain why losing you felt worse than rain. I walked the river till daylight rose, talking to nobody I know, and every boat horn drifting near sounded exactly like despair. For lovers gone, they leave us stumbling toward the dawn, with empty bottles, empty beds, and trumpet echoes in our heads. Oh, darling, if you hear this tune, no, I still collapse for you, though the city keeps dancing on. My heart stopped marching when you were gone. The snare drum faded street by street. The cold wind swept through empty heat, and somewhere underneath the sky, one more fool learned how to cry. Now Bourbon sleeps beneath the rain, still humming softly through the pain, while lonely horns keep singing low. Some loves ain't built to grow. Blue umbrella, midnight glow. Rain keeps falling soft and slow. Every puddle holds your face in this tired old jazz-soaked place. The clarinet hums low tonight. Street lamps blur in silver light, and every lonely footstep knows how hard it is letting go. Wandered down Decatur Street with broken rhythm in my feet. Watched strangers kiss beneath marquees while cold wind rolled off blackened seas. A trumpet player near the square blew sorrow thick into the air. His hat half full of crumpled bills, his eyes carrying older chills. The bartender at Lulu's bar said heartbreak never travels far. It sits beside you every night till dawn finally kills the light. Blue umbrella, serenade, songs for promises that fade. Swing those lonely horns for me till my heart finds harmony. Rain keeps dancing with the band, like sorrow's got a second hand. Still I walk these streets alone, searching for a place called home. I bought carnations from a kid who asked me why I looked so sick. I almost laughed, I almost cried. Instead I tipped and said goodbye. The riverboats kept moaning low, like ancient beasts too tired to go. And every neon flicker seemed to mock the future that we dreamed. Then an old woman dressed in green said heartbreak sharpens everything. You'll hear beauty clearer now, then vanish somewhere through the crowd. Learns to dance before we start. The rain washed bourbon from the stones, washed some grief from my bones. And somewhere in that silver storm I felt the ache begin transforming. The drummer in the distant hall played a bright ascending roll. And for the first time since goodbye, I looked directly at the sky. Blue umbrella, serenade, lead me through the wreckage made. Let the trombones cry, then rise like sunrise, waking tired eyes. Though the night still cuts me deep, though your ghost still steals my sleep, every street lamp seems to say, you'll learn to love again someday. The rain grew softer near dawn light. The band packed up for the night. And somewhere through the fading tune, my sorrow loosened just a little too soon. Blue umbrella by my side, I kept walking through the tide, while distant horns began to play, like hope preparing for the day.
Morning came through Magnolia tree, warm wind drifting from the sea. The city yawned in golden light after another wounded night. A trumpet practiced somewhere near, not sorrow now, but something clear. And every note climbed toward the sky, like broken souls still learning why. fresh coffee near the docks, heard children laughing on the blocks, saw painters setting up their stand, like life still trusted human hands. The bakers sang while sweeping floors, old couples danced outside their stores, and somehow all those simple things felt brighter than remembered dreams. A shoe-shine man with silver hair said, "Son, grief visits everywhere, but joy returns when you leave room instead of locking every door." Magnolia sunrise, carry me home, teach this tired heart how to roam, past the ache and past the blues, toward the life I almost lose. Oh, let those Dixieland horns ring, let every wounded spirit sing, 'cause even after love burns down, the soul can still rebuild this town. I passed the corner where we kissed, felt sadness there but coexist. No longer knives beneath my skin, just echoes of where we had been. The river glittered crystal gold, like stories waiting to be told, and every passing second seemed less haunted by abandoned dreams. Then from a balcony above, a woman sang about lost love, but her voice carried no despair, only survival living there. Maybe healing ain't forgetting, maybe it's accepting endings, learning how to carry scars without mistaking them for bars. The band outside St. Philip's Gate played loud enough to challenge fate, and every joyful trumpet line felt like reclaiming life with time. I closed my eyes and breathed the air, magnolia blooming everywhere, and deep inside my battered chest, something finally came to rest. Magnolia sunrise, shine on through. There's still 1,000 songs to do, still more laughter left to find, still more love somewhere in time. Oh, let the snare drum lead the way, march this broken soul today, 'cause even after heartbreak sting, a wounded heart can learn to sing. The sunlight spilled on every street, brass bands gathered in the heat, and somewhere in that rising sound, I felt my feet return to ground. No, I wasn't whole just yet, still carrying sorrow and regret, but hope arrived with horns that day, and softly asked my grief to sway. Too bad to rain. Top shook above Rampart Street, brass band stomping through the heat, whiskey laughing in the air, trouble hanging everywhere. A trumpet screamed like wildfire bright, while dancers howled into the night, and every sinner packed inside was trying hard to stay alive. A girl named Ruby spun me round, silver heels barely barely touching ground. She kissed my cheek, then stole my hat, said, baby, don't look so damn sad. The drummer rolled a second line beat, sweat dripped heavy through the heat, and all the broken hearts in town turned their loneliness into sound. I laughed too loud, drank too fast, pretended pain belonged to the past, but every smile I threw around still carried your ghost underneath the sound. Tin roof hallelujah tonight, dance till the sorrow leaves your side. Raise those glasses high and free, let the brass wash over me. Oh, let the trombones roar and shout till every aching memory drowns out. 'Cause sometimes joy's a desperate thing wrapped inside a trumpet swing. Hey now, shake the rafters down. The bartender climbed upon the bar, played washboard like a shooting star. The piano pounded reckless chords like heaven kicked open its doors. A sailor cried into his gin, a preacher stumbled drunk within, and somehow every soul inside had something ugly they tried to hide. Ruby asked me who broke my heart. I lied and blamed the stars apart, but she just smiled and shook her head. Honey, grief ain't ever dead. Now the city loves your downfall, wraps it up in carnival, turns your tears into parade till you almost feel remade. The snare drum rattled like a train, trying to outrun human pain. And for one reckless hour or two, I nearly stopped missing you. But then the trumpet soft and low, blue notes drifting through the smoke, and suddenly beneath the cheers I tasted all those hidden tears. Tonight, burn your sadness in the light, spin till the whole room disappears, dance directly through your fears. Oh, let the whole damn rooftop ring like heartbreak's just another swing. 'Cause every fool beneath the moon needs loud jazz to survive the blues. By sunrise, half the crowd was gone. The band still staggered slowly on, and somewhere through the fading brass I knew this fever couldn't last. Ruby waved, then disappeared like all the temporary cheers, leaving silence, stale perfume, and morning creeping through the room.
Smoke rings climbing lazy high, silver lies and alibis. The club stayed dark till nearly dawn, like nighttime never wanted gone. The singer crooned through velvet haze, half-remembered smoky phrase, and every lonely face inside was dressed too well to show its cries. She called herself Delphine Duval, wore black satin to the floor, had diamonds hanging from her throat, and sadness hidden in each note. She laughed like bourbon poured on fire, danger dressed in silk attire, and every man who watched her sway forgot at least one ache that day. She pulled me close beneath dim gold said, baby, heartbreak gets old. Then kissed me slow beside the stage, like loneliness was all the rage. Pretending still that numbness somehow cures the ill. Oh, darling, spin another tune, hide the sorrow with perfume, till sunrise strips the glamour bare and leaves the truth hanging there. She danced like someone fleeing ghosts, like beauty mattered most. But every now and then her smile collapsed for just a little while. The piano moaned in minor keys, slow as sinking memories, while glasses clink like tiny bells inside those velvet midnight hells. She asked me if I still loved you. I drank instead of answering true, and somehow silence said enough about unfinished kinds of love. Song about trying to stay strong, and halfway through her trembling voice I heard the pain beneath the poise. Then suddenly the crowded room felt colder than a crypt at noon, and every laugh turned paper thin, like everyone was caving in. Stay with me, 'cause truth arrives with morning rays and steals the magic nighttime makes. Delphine vanished before dawn, left her lipstick on my coat, and somewhere in the empty club the last bass note finally broke. Smoke rings faded into air, nothing solid anywhere, just jazz still floating soft and blue, and me still haunted after you.
The devil plays clarinet downtown, wears snakeskin shoes and a ragged crown. laughs through every blue note cry, while broken fools keep stumbling by. The drums rolled hard like Judgment Day, the brass blew all restraint away, and somewhere underneath the sound I finally started breaking down. Straight nights without much sleep, too much bourbon running deep. I gambled rent on card table queens and lost more than I'd ever seen. The city blurred in neon rain, street lights melting through my brain, and every alley seemed to hum with all the things I'd become. A preacher shouted near the square, "Son, sorrow grows if you feed despair." But I just laughed and kept moving on, like I could outrun what I'd done. The devil plays clarinet tonight, leading lost men from the light, swinging low through smoky sin, dragging every sorrow in. Oh, hear that wicked reed section cry, like broken angels learning why hearts collapse beneath the strain of trying not to feel the pain. I woke beside a stranger's shoes, couldn't remember half the blues. The ceiling spun above my head, like all good sense had finally fled. My pockets empty, watch gone too, stomach sour with regret and booze. And somewhere through the pounding ache, I realized I might not escape. Outside, the brass bands marched again, bright and loud through heat and wind. But every joyful note they played sounded twisted, warped, and strange. Funny how destruction sings, wraps itself in shiny things, till one day the mirror shows someone you no longer know. I wandered near the river bend, thought about the bitter end, while black water rolled beneath, like a song too tired to breathe. Then far away a child began playing trumpet with a band, one shaking note, then one more clear, and somehow hope appeared. The devil played clarinet tonight, but dawn arrived with softer light, and somewhere through the trumpet calls I heard redemption through it all. Or maybe hearts can lose their way without being lost forever. Maybe even broken men can learn to rise again. The sky turned pale above the town, the last drunk stumbled finally down, and through the silence after sin, a quieter song began again. The clarinet no longer screamed, it almost sounded kind to me, like sorrow finally changing shape into something I could face.
Paper moon on Frenchmen Street, soft brass drifting through the heat, candles trembling in cafe light, gentle music filling night. The piano rolled like river tide, easy as a peaceful mind. And for the first time in so long, I sat still enough to hear a song. She sat alone beside the stage, reading poetry yellowed with age. A navy coat around her frame, and eyes untouched by games. Her name was Evelyn St. Clair. She spoke softly, listened rare, never rushed to fill the air with noise, pretending not to care. We talked till nearly 3:30 about old records, memory, about the strange ways people heal, and scars that never fully seal. Paper moon on Frenchmen Street, slow jazz wrapped in summer heat. Maybe love returns this way, quiet as the end of day. Oh, let those gentle trumpets play. Not every heart must break again. Some wounds soften over time, like blue notes settling into rhyme. She asked me why I look so tired. I said some fires leave smoke behind. She nodded like she understood the heavy weight of losing good. Outside the rain began again, soft against the window pane, but this time it did not feel like sorrow sharpened into steel. She smiled when the trombone sighed, tapped her fingers, keeping time, and somehow in that tiny scene the whole world felt clean. Survive this long. The band leader called one final tune, a slow parade beneath the moon, and every couple rose to sway, like hope had finally found a way. Evelyn reached and held my hand. No promises, no grand demands, just warmth enough to make me see who I still might someday be. Paper moon on Frenchmen Street, lead these weary hearts to peace. Let tomorrow run slow and bright, without fear attached to night. Oh, let the clarinet sing clear, past regret and past old fear. 'Cause somewhere in this tired town, lost souls still get found. The cafe closed near break of dawn, still neither of us wanted gone. So we walked beside the river breeze, listening to distant melodies. Paper moon above the tide, no need now to run or hide, just two shadows moving slow toward some place neither fully knows.
Ashes in a velvet suit, polished shoes and painful truths. The band tuned low beneath dim light, his memory returned tonight. The mirrors glowed with amber haze, full of old familiar days. And every note the trumpet blew seemed tied somehow to me and you. I found your letter in my coat, crushed beside old drink tickets. The ink had faded at the seams, like worn out, half-forgotten dreams. You wrote, love scared us both too much. We mistook fear for lack of trust. But somewhere underneath the pain, I hope you dance again someday. I read those lines 3 times or more, while the band rolled through slow 4/4. And finally, without the rage, I felt the weight leave the page. Soft tonight, not every ending needs a fight. Some stories fade like evening rain, yet leave behind a kind of grace. I thought about our first parade, summer nights in trumpet haze. How young we were, believing bliss could survive untouched like this. But people change like river tides, fear grows sharp when hope collides. And sometimes even honest love still ain't enough. The drummer brushed a gentle swing, like forgiving everything. And suddenly I missed you less, without loving you any less. Now the city kept on moving,
marching through the ruins, children laughing near the square, life rebuilding everywhere. And maybe that's the lesson too. Pain reshapes the soul in you, not to harden into stone, but to know you're not alone. The whole ensemble slowly rose, trumpets bright and warm as gold. And for the first time since goodbye, I smiled without forcing why. Ashes in a velvet suit, no more hiding from the truth. Every scar becomes a seam in the fabric of a dream. Oh, let the final chorus ring, like tired hearts recovering. 'Cause even after sorrows reign, the soul still learns to swing again. The band played on till morning light, soft and slow into the night. And somewhere in the fading brass, I finally released the past. Not erased, not fully gone, just no longer what I leaned on. As dawn rose gold on Orleans blue, a new life quietly came into view.